Finding the perfect venue for your event can make all the difference in the world. But not if you blow your entire budget on your venue. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you how to find the best venue you can without spending all your money. I know you want to have an incredible experience, an incredible event, and for that, you want an incredible venue. And I also know that one of the biggest challenges that I've faced and that many of my clients face when they're creating an event is spending too much on a venue. Blowing the whole budget on the venue and then feeling the pressure to fill the event or get sponsors for the event. And when you're focused on the money part of it instead of the experience part of it, it can sometimes get in the way of your flow. Now wait, hold on. I'm not saying it's not important to make money on your event. As a matter of fact, I have a whole bunch of videos on how to monetize the event. But what I am saying is that when you spend too much on the venue, when you overinvest in that piece, it can put a lot of pressure on you that you really don't need, especially if it's early days and if you're starting this program or this event for the first time. So the solution that I'm proposing to this is to get creative, to think outside the box. Don't think of just your standard hotel venues or wedding venues or whatever it is for your event. Think about how can you create something unusual and special. So I'm going to start with a few different categories. The first category is free venues. Yes, free. Believe it or not, I've hosted up to 600 people at a venue for an event and not paid anything for the venue. Why? Because the venue needed marketing. The venue needed traction. This was the women's club at the time in Coconut Grove. They had just done a redesign and they wanted women to experience the venue because they wanted it to be used as a wedding venue. So I made a deal to trade services. I made them a sponsor of my event and they gave me the venue for free. And guess what? They booked over $70,000 worth of wedding business at my event. Another way to find free venues is through your local Chamber of Commerce or through a Chamber of Commerce in the area where you want to host our event. The best $500 or $600 a year I ever spent was investing in the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce. Why? Because I knew every single time a new restaurant came to town, a new venue opened up, whatever it was, I knew that they needed traffic and I would get right in there and introduce myself and say, hey, I run big events. Would you like to talk about me bringing my people to your event? And not all my events were big. They weren't all 500 or 600 people. I'm talking about 30-person events, 50-person events, 100-person events. So there was a restaurant that I met through the Miami Beach Chamber, Novecento in Miami, that I did multiple events at. And not only did I not pay, they gave my people free appetizers and free wine because they were so happy that they showed up at their venue. So when you're looking for a venue, think about places that need traffic, new places that have just opened up, restaurants, they might have a private area in the back, and they might be thrilled to host your event in order to get more traffic and more attention to the venue. Another category is low-cost venues. So you can get free venues by trading services, but you can also get low-cost venues by going with public buildings or universities or schools. I once did an entire retreat in an old schoolhouse in Georgetown, Colorado. Most hotel venues will cost $1,000 a day or something like that. My retreat venue at this old schoolhouse cost $75 a day. And it was awesome. Everybody loved being in this old schoolhouse, this beautiful wood paneled classroom with big chalkboards. It was actually quite fun. Another example was I went to the Museum of Science in Miami at the time. This was about 10 years ago. And I did a deal with the planetarium. The planetarium had an auditorium where I could host my event. And they charged me nothing almost, a song and a dance. Maybe they even gave it to me for free plus cost. But if you go to public buildings, buildings where your taxpayer dollars are paying the bill, you can often find a space to host your event or retreat for a really low fee and just cover the insurance. And sometimes they need to have security or somebody on staff working, but it's still way cheaper than going to your average hotel and renting a space there. Now, you always have the option of going to a hotel. And I don't dislike hotels. In fact, these days I host all of my Miami Superstar Business Breakthrough retreats at hotels. And I love the hotel that I'm using. They charge me about $500 a day for the room, and they actually give me the coffee for free. So I'm a big fan of some hotels, but I'm also wary of hotels, and I'll tell you what to watch out for if you are going to do business with a hotel. Number one, F&B, food and beverage. So here's something you may not realize. Most hotels will give you the venue space for free if you buy food and beverage. Now the problem with that, it sounds like a great deal, and it kind of is, or it can be. The problem with that is sometimes the food and beverage is so expensive, it way more than outweighs the cost that the venue would have been by itself. Food and beverage is really expensive. A little airplane chicken dinner is like $40 or $50 sometimes. And on top of that, your hotel is going to charge you tax and tip, which adds up to another 25, sometimes 30%. So that's something you'll have to watch out for. But the awesome thing about hotels is that you can also sometimes get room rates. So you can make a deal where if you book a block of rooms, they'll give you your venue space for free. But you have to watch out again, because if you don't fill the rooms, you could be liable for the rooms that you don't fill. So with hotels, more than anything, you want to really bring your savviest negotiator to the table, do your best negotiation work, and then read that contract with a fine-tooth comb. Make sure you have a force majeure, meaning that if there's a COVID crisis or a hurricane, that you are protected. Make sure that you have no liability for the room block unless you're certain that you're going to fill all those rooms. You can also ask for a courtesy block if you don't want to have a committed room block, which means that they'll give you rooms as long as they have them. And that's a courtesy block. They give it to you at a special price. Other things to watch out for with hotels are parking. If you're going to make a deal with a hotel, ask them to cover the parking for you. They may say no, but they may also give you some sort of validation or a discount on the parking for your people. One of my favorite ways to find venues is Airbnb and VRBO. I'm a big fan of renting big houses and hosting my events in the houses. Think about it. You get your rooms integrated. You don't have to pay extra for hotel rooms. Everybody stays in one space and you create more community, more bonding. Now, of course, this only works for smaller retreat type venues or formats, but it's a very profitable way, a very inexpensive way of leading your retreats and seminars. And that's how I do a lot of my retreats. I do some of them at the hotels and then a lot of them at VRBOs and Airbnbs. So a couple things you want to think about if you're going to do that, if you're going to go that route, is to find out, can you move furniture? Maybe you have to rent furniture and bring it in and move furniture out of the way. You know, is there a damage waiver? Do you need insurance if you're going to host an event? Will they allow you to host an event? A lot of times VRBO and Airbnb properties won't let you host events, so you have to ask permission up front. And the last way that I've found venues very effectively is to just post on Facebook that I'm looking for a venue. If you post, hey, I'm looking to do this on these dates, or this is my idea, and you post your vision, and you make it exciting, people will share, hey, check out this location. Hey, my brother-in-law has this, or my friend just did an event there, or this wedding I just went to. You will get ideas from people. And you can ask those people, hey, can you make an introduction to the decision maker there? And again, remember, I personally always start from zero. I think of events, I don't start from a budget, and maybe this is definitely not what most people do. But instead of saying I've got 10,000 or 5,000 to spend on this event, I say I've got zero. Let's work it up from there instead of working down from the budget. I'm always looking for a free or a low-cost venue because I find that they can not just be inexpensive, they can also be really awesome. So open your mind, get creative, and go find yourself a venue that's not your standard, average, boring place. If you're liking this video, check out my other videos, subscribe to my channel, and if you want to think about working with me, go to superstaractivator.com/go to find out more about if and how I might be able to support you.